You really excited about the session? I saw a few people on Discord sending "I love Agora" messages. I'd like to know.
Yes, yeah. So
All
cute.
right. So yeah, fine. Let's begin.
Okay, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Now we are in our home stretch. You get the tingling feeling of excite a little bit, huh, inside you. I know you all are a little bit nervous about review 2 coming up, but don't worry about it. It'll be good.
Yeah, you got
Oh,
this.
now the big event. We have got a session with our sponsor Agora. Agora, Agora's RTE building app helps you build a complete, customizable, and a video calling application without writing a single piece of code. Can you believe it? Also, it runs on 6 different platforms: web, iOS, Android, Windows, Linux, and OS, macOS. So I think it's pretty cool. And once you come to think of it, it's pretty amazing. But the best part about it is it's all from the same code base. So let me welcome you, Mr. Ekansh from Agora. He's one brilliant mind, and I'd love you all to hear him out. So welcome, Ekansh.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me. We're excited for this workshop.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna leave you to it. You can get started.
Yeah, cool.
Great, awesome. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Cool. I'm gonna start. If in case like there's some problem with screen share, just like let me know. Cool. So I'm here to talk about the Agora's RTE App Builder. Like Lokesh mentioned, it's a feature-complete, production-ready video conferencing application that anyone can deploy. We'll be walking through the entire process of how you can go ahead and like deploy your own version of the application, and I promise you'll have to basically write no code. So a little bit about myself. I am Mekansh. I'm a developer evangelist at Agora. Last year, I was in the organizing team, organizing WomenTechies. So I was part of VIT, and I was also part of DSC VIT. It's barely been a few months leaving DSC and moving on to the full-time role. But by last year, I was a superstar at Agora. It's like a program where they mentor university students, and that led me to get an internship at Agora during the lockdown. And it's been a great experience. And I transitioned to a full-time employee last month. So that's a little bit about myself. You can find my GitHub. A lot of projects involving Agora are on there. So let's discuss quickly what we'll be walking through. So we'll onboard the Agora platform. We'll go ahead and make an account, sign up, see what the platform looks like, and then we'll discuss a little bit about what the app builder is. We'll talk a little bit about what the features of the application are, what the cool parts are, and then we'll go ahead and build our own RTE app. Just to quickly see if everyone's still here, I'm gonna just give me like a thumbs up so that I can understand that everything's cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go back. Then we'll build our own RTE app. That should take about 10-15 minutes. That's the fun part. So we'll try to land there as soon as possible. And then we'll have some Q&A. Hopefully we can answer some cool questions about how we build the application, what stack we're using, stuff like that. Everything's open source. So I can tell you in all detail, like whatever you want to know. And if we have some time later and people are interested, we'll probably talk about the journey of building App Builder. So we have a few links that I'll be using throughout the presentation. This is like a shortened link. So in case you can't copy paste the link while I'm talking about it and I move forward, you can find all the links used throughout this presentation here. So like make a quick note of this. Cool. Moving on. While I start describing what Agora does and what App Builder is, in the meantime, in case you do not have Git and Node.js installed on your laptop, you should install these 2 pieces of software so that we'll need them when we are deploying our own application. If you're on Linux or Mac, you should have Git by default, and just installing Node would be great. grab the LTS release, and we should be good to go. So while you go ahead and do that, let's start talking about what's Agora and what do we do. So Agora is a leading video voice live interacting streaming platform. We empower developers with tools to build their own real-time engagement experiences. What that means is if you want to build your own video calling platform to challenge the competitors in the space, you can go ahead and leverage Agora's SDKs to do that. You can build live interactive platforms like, live shopping is a thing that's coming up. You can have real-time messaging and real-time recording as well. So for example, you want to record sessions that you're conducting, that's possible, and you can have like chat and stuff. Again, just to give you a quick idea, like the platform that we're using right now, AirMeet, is built on top of Agora. So right now you're not actively like working with Agora, but then you're technically using the product.
Screen has gone black. The screen has gone black. I think there's something.
1 sec.
Yeah. Cool.
Can you see it now?
Not yet.
Let me reshare the screen.
Yeah. Cool.
How about now?
Yeah, we can see. Great.
Awesome. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was talking how AirMeet uses Agora, and yeah, so you already have like an experience of what the video quality is like and what the tech is like. Cool. So this is what I'm most excited for. So this is my internship project. Technically, this is what I've been working on for the last 6-7 months now. So we thought that a lot of developers would want to add video functionality to their platforms, and that's really simple with Agora. You pump in a few lines of code and you can add that video functionality to your own application. But what if people want to deploy their own fully featured video conferencing system? For example, maybe next year DSC builds their own video streaming platform to conduct an event. Like that's completely possible, and they might be able to use RTE App Builder and get that done like without stressing about all of these features like screen sharing, messaging, cross-platform support, maintaining users, like how you can give people privilege to speak on screen, how you can kick people off the call, recording their sessions using cloud recording, stuff like that. This would be great if we could give this platform to people. But what would be even cooler is giving them ability to customize this platform to their own requirement. For example, let's say DSC does not care about cloud recording. They can just like not use that and not have to deal with that. Plus, when you're building to 6 different platforms, let's say the people at DSC want to add a feature like say emoji support in text, like the hand raise and stuff that's happening. If you were building traditionally, you would have to write that piece of code 6 times on 6 different platforms. But since we have the same code base running on all these different operating systems, essentially we can write this feature once, and magically through our build system, everything gets compiled to native applications on all these platforms. So essentially you can reuse your code and everything just works. It's a great experience, like just doing that. So let's begin. Let's start. Sorry about that. Let's start and go ahead and create an account. So this is what this is what the console looks like. So let's quickly see how we can make an account. I would urge you all to like start doing this with me so that you're all up to speed. You can just use like Oauth. So if you have a Google account or a GitHub account, you can use one of those and like sign up on the platform. In case you want to sign up traditionally using an email, that's possible. Just go ahead and like do that, and you'll have like a verification step where you'll enter like an OTP or something. And once you've done that, we'll give you a minute or two to do that. Once you signed up on the platform, the link is console.agora.io. Once you've done that, you land up here, and you'll probably see a screen which looks like this. The first time you are on the platform, you will probably have to specify a project name. You can call it anything that you want. And then it'll guide you through on how you can, deploy a new application. So this is basically like sample code. So this is how you initialize the SDK on Android. Then that's one line of code to enable video. That's one line of code to enable to join a channel. Channels are things which multiple people can join to interact with each other. And once you go ahead and join a channel, you should see yourself on the screen. That's how it works. So to just see like how this works, you can go ahead and open this in a new tab and click join channel, and you'll have like a video call going. So that's about the onboarding process. Once you've gone ahead and played around with the demo, you can go ahead and go to project management and create a new project. The first 10,000 minutes are free for you every month. So you don't have to enter any credit card details or configure billing or essentially pay for anything while you're developing and testing your application. So you can just go ahead, select secured mode and input a project name. Let's say WomenTechies'21. Submit. This will take a second and you'll get your project. So now we need two pieces of information that we'll use moving forward. So let's create a new note. Let's copy our app ID and let's copy our app certificate. Great. Quick show of hands if you've caught up, or if you need time, just like drop a text and we'll go a little slower. I hope I'm not too fast. Awesome. Good to know. Perfect. That's great. Cool. That's all you basically need to, all the details you need from the application, and yeah, we're ready to write some, or essentially not write some code. So going back, let's begin for real this time. This is the app builder. You can go to appbuilder.agora.io. Again, the link is on the shortened URL. You can just copy paste this. This is what the website looks like, and we have good documentation on how to get up to speed, but we'll try and do that live. So this is what the console looks like. The console is where you can customize your application that I promised you about. So let's say we want the application to look cooler. We can have a nice color to it. Let's say, yeah, that looks nice. Let's say we were customizing it for DSC, like we mentioned. We can go ahead and pull up the WomenTechies illustration. Let's say we wanted a cool background and you have something ready. You can just load that image up and you have your custom background there. Now, you can even customize your logos and stuff. So for example, if you have your Android app and you want your logo to display there, you can just pick your logo and select it in the square logo field. So that's how you can customize the platform. Let's go ahead and start fresh because I'm going to stick with what this looks like. So to give your project name, enter anything alpha or numeric. Please avoid spaces and dashes. Let's call it WomenTechies demo. Your display name would be the application name that people would see when you submit the app to the Play Store or the App Store. Is that right for iOS? I'm going to leave everything default for now. You can go ahead and customize it. There's all of that. Let's give it a heading. And let's say sticking with the theme of the session today. So again, quick shout out to DSC for organizing this event. Really happy to see the effort continue for making spaces more exclusive. Coming back, we have enable OAuth. So this is again something you can customize. Let's say there was a use case where you only want some people to be able to create a meeting. You can enable OAuth. This would give you Google OAuth for now, and anyone who wants to create a meeting will have to authenticate using their Google credentials, and only then will they be able to create a meeting and Normal people can join the meeting without going through Oauth, and this would pull in usernames from their Google account as well. So we'll leave that off for now. This is where you pull in the config that we decided, that we generated before. So the app ID goes here, and the app certificate goes here. Once you've done that, you click on next. These are the features that the application supports and stuff that you can remove if you don't need. For example, PSTN dial-in is something that would let people use their phones to connect to a video call room in case they do not have internet where they are or if they're traveling. We don't need that for now. Let's say we can just uncheck that. A pre-call screen is something like Meet, where you join the call, you set up your video and your audio sources. You can select between which device you want to use, and you can also look at yourself before you join the call so that like everything looks good. You have chat in case you do not want like the chat to be there. You can just disable that. You have cloud recording. So the way this works is you can start recording a session and it gets saved to your AWS bucket. So you can configure all of those credentials here. In case you don't need that, just uncheck it. Screen sharing lets you share your screen like I'm doing right now. That's what it would look like. Coming back, we have video encryption. So by default, if you're using tokens like we are, everything's encrypted. But if you have something really sensitive that you're dealing with on your platform, you can even enable packet encryption so that all your packets are encrypted. Platforms, let's select all of them so that we can build for all platforms. Nothing changes there. If you have questions, you can visit the docs. Again, can I have a quick show of hands if everyone's happy with the customizations they've done to the app? Perfect. That's awesome. Great. So now there's two parts to the application. There's the front end. That means that's your website and your Android app and your iOS app and your Electron apps for different desktops. And there's a backend which is responsible for, say, user management, generating rooms, and managing all of that. Hi.
Yeah, people are requesting you to go a little bit slower.
Yeah, I tend to speak fast, so thank you for like stopping me there.
No problem.
Cool. So I was talking about front end and back end. So the front end system is something you would be deploying to a CDN, which is your website, and something you'll be deploying to the Play Store or your App Store. And the backend manages all of these applications and does things like generating rooms and like authenticating users and Google Oauth and all of that. So those two pieces of software we'll have to build and deploy. We've tried to make it as easy as possible. So you go ahead and download source code. We see it here. Let's take this to our desktop and let's open a terminal. So in case you haven't caught up till here, we can wait a minute or just react with something, or like just type in the chat if you want me to wait for some time. If everything's good, all right, we can wait. I can talk a little bit about the features till you guys have customized the platform, and then we'll start building the application. So other than the features listed, there's also multiple views. So this is like the spotlight view or something that gives focus to a participant, but you also have like a tiled layout so that everyone appears equally on the screen. You have user management. So what that means is you have two levels of access. One is a host. You can have multiple hosts on the call, and these people can kick other people, mute other people, and have those host privileges. And normal participants can just mute and unmute themselves. You can have like settings which lets you pick multiple devices. So if you have like a USB camera, you can use that to join the call. Bluetooth earphones, you can select them from here. And what else? Yep, you can white label all of that. We went through that, and hopefully everyone's caught up. Awesome. So let's go to our app. So navigate to your project directory. If you're on basically any platform, you can just cd and type in the folder name. Alternatively, you can just open the terminal in whichever folder you've extracted the zip to. This would give you a zip when you click on download source code. So just to quickly show you, this is what your folder should look like. And these are the two files that would be downloaded. Great. So go ahead and type in npm install. This would download the CLI, which would help you build and deploy your application. So this would take a few minutes if you're just starting out, and this would pull everything that we need from npm. You need to have Node installed, so please make sure that you have a recent version of Node. And yeah, that's basically all you have to do to get the CLI working. While that's happening, if you have some questions, please drop them in the questions tab, and we can take some questions till this is being built. Okay, so the Superstars program is, let me come back to that. Sorry about that. So you see you'll have this node modules folder, and you have this package.json now. So next thing you have to do is type npm start. This would launch the CLI, and that would take care of downloading the latest source code for our front end and back end, and applying all the customizations that we selected onto the front end template. So while that's doing, let's come back. So the Superstars program is essentially a way for university students to work with Agora. And if you want to know more about the program, you can send an email to community@agora.io. The email is here. And just shoot us an email and we'll give you more details. Yeah, happy to help. So while that's getting the code base, if you have more questions, we can discuss that. Tutorials for, oh yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about that. So if you go to the Agora website, you can go to docs.agora.io. I'll put a link on the shortened URL, and you have intensive documentation on everything basically. So let's say I want to build a video calling application, and let's say I want to just quickly start up with that. What this is there's a video tutorial for you to start. You can select your platform. Like for example, this is on iOS right now. There's a text document as well if you want to just launch an application quickly. There's documentation on basically everything that the SDK supports, and there's quick starts to help you get up to speed with how things work. And we also have an API reference. So if you want to look at iOS code and exactly what each function does, you have all of that listed. And we even have a bunch of blogs. So if, for example, you want to build a React Native application, just type React Native Agora, and you'll find a bunch of content. You can also check out our publication on Medium, and that has a bunch of blogs which would take you through the platform. Yep, the Flutter SDK is pretty easy to learn, I would say. It's still in beta, if I remember correctly, but there's a bunch of documentation. There's a bunch of sample apps. You can drop me an email or drop me a message on one of these platforms. I'm there on Discord as well, and I can send you links to the Flutter SDK, and you can begin learning. This gives us a warning that no icon was specified, so this will use the default React Native app icon. Everything succeeded like it should. Now, if we look at our project directory, it will look something like this. We have two new folders. One's the front end, one's the back end. This is our project name. So let's go to WomenTechies demo. This is what the project looks like. So this would remind you of a basic React Native project. You have iOS and Android folders. You have your normal React Native files. So essentially, what we need to do is follow the build guide. So we've already done all of this. Now we open a config.json file. So let's go back. Let's open the config.json, and we set the backend URL to our Heroku URL. So let's go ahead and deploy our backend as well. So where you customized your application, in the end, there's a deploy to Heroku button. Just click that, and it'll load up the backend template. All you have to do is define your app name and just pick anything that is available and just click on deploy app. That's all you have to do. So this will take care of deploying the backend and giving you a URL. So while that's happening, any more questions? So let's quickly talk a bit about the application. Let me open it up and walk you through. So let's see. This is what the app looks like. If you know React Native, this would look very familiar to you. And everything's open source. Like I mentioned, the code is available on GitHub. So if you want to change stuff, you can go ahead and dive into the source tree and start writing TypeScript and making changes. The project is still in beta, so please read through the tooltips so that you're entering these values correctly. And yeah, everything should succeed. It's getting the build files for a backend. Let's see if we've got any questions. Yep, you can look at the pricing on the URL that Vineet mentioned. Thanks, Vineet. It's fairly transparent. You can go ahead and calculate what it would cost. So we've got the Heroku link deployed, and let's go to our backend URL and let's paste that here. Looks good. So let's see. Coming back. Save the config, close the editor. We've done that. Next, we open the Agora App Builder folder and we install. We've already done that. So we'll just quickly go to our config that was created for us. And we'll set the backend URL here as well. This would be automated if you were doing things in the right steps. I just jumped a step. So yeah, that should sort that out. Then let's say we just want to run a local copy of the front end and check a development preview. You can type npm run web, and this would start up Webpack and web server to give you a live preview. Let's give it a second. This is what your application would look like. So WomenTechies, our byline. Let's say we want to create a meeting. We can enter a room name. Let's say demo. This lets you have host controls that we talked about. Let's quickly check if our backend is deployed. Cool. Let's quickly check if we've got the right config. Looks good. Let's just rerun the server. And let's run web. Also, while that's building, let's set up our front end deployment. So I'll be using Vercel. There's one step that you need to do. If you're using Vercel, you can just create a file called vercel.json in your build directory, or sorry, in your distribution directory. That's /dist. I'll show you what to do. And in case you're using Netlify, then you need to set up a redirects file with no extension, and then drag and drop your dist folder into Netlify. Let's try again. Create a meeting, enter room name. Let's do test. This will take a second. Any questions? I think so. I think we'll have the session on YouTube. So, yep, meeting created. So we have two links since we're on localhost right now. This is what links look like. Let's copy the host URL or we can just enter the meeting as host. This is the pre-call that I was talking about. Let's just mute ourselves. We can join the room. Let's open a separate tab. Let's enter a name here. We can join the room, mute ourselves. You have the video call thing going on. You have the focus view that we mentioned. You have the chat. Hello. You can even private message people. So let's see. We get the hello. We can private chat people. And you have screen sharing. You have this audience panel where you can kick people off. So this user gets disconnected, and you can create as many meetings as you like. You can copy details to share with other people. You have settings to change these parameters for devices. That's about it with the application. Let's go ahead and deploy this. So we'll cut the server. Let's do npm run web :build. This would build a production version of the application in /dist. Let's see what that looks like. You'll get a dist once this. Yep, we built everything, and we're in the wrong folder. Let's just go back to the demo. You get your dist folder. I already have this vercel.json. Essentially, this is what it looks like. Just copy paste this file here, save it as vercel.json, and this is what your folder should look like. These three files should be there. If you're using Netlify, just set up this underscore redirects file. If you're in Vercel, just type Vercel, and sorry about that. Go to dist and type Vercel. and this should deploy your website version. Any questions? Yep, you can use this and pass your college projects. I use this for a bunch of my VIT projects as well. Awesome. That's done. We have our link. Let's see. Going back. That's your demo live. You have your first or possibly nth RTE app. And you can again create a new meeting. And you can share this link. And that's about it from the build perspective. You have this live app. And if you want to build for different platforms, there's in-depth details here. If you're building for Android, just do npm run Android. This would start a VM. You will need to have some additional configuration steps like setting up Android Studio. If you're building for iOS, you would need Xcode. And there's a bunch of troubleshooting steps as well. If you're stuck somewhere, you can follow the tutorial. I'll leave a link to this as well. Let's go back. So this is the time where I would take more questions if there are any. Otherwise, we'll wrap up and you guys can get working on your review too. I can share the link here. Absolutely. There you go. And in case you need other links, this is where you can find them. Anything else that you'd like me to talk about, discuss, any questions, any problems that you would be facing? You can ask me and we can quickly talk about those. Oh yeah, absolutely. We have a contributing file on GitHub. You can check it out and open issues, work on active issues, and we'll probably take those into consideration. We'd love some contributions as well.
Thank you, Ekant, for that wonderful session. We really enjoyed it. So, guys, now it's time for the all-important announcement. I think you know what it is. It's time for Review 2.
Review 2 will start at 4 p.m. sharp. We'll be judging you on the basis of originality, feasibility, usability, technical implementation, UI UX, and how much progress you've made so far. So get hacking and work fast. All the best, you guys.
All the best.
Oh, before we leave, the social media challenge. You have one more hour to submit all of your posts. Remember to tag us and use the hashtag #HackLikeAGirl.
Remember,
Make best post win.
Remember our Instagram handle is at DSC VIT Vello. So make sure you participate. Exciting goodies waiting for you out there. Thanks, guys.